right now. We're recording.
All right, guys, I think this is episode number 19. We have Joe, it's Linton?
Yes.
We have Joe Linton with us, okay, who is part of Legends competition. And obviously we have Jen Dieter and Benji Bronk and Bob Jennings and Mike Kern, myself, and Steve Swishstack. And, you know, today's episode's all about the Legends, which we are all participating in except for Clint right now. And, well,
wait, those top two haven't made it yet either.
All right, you're participating in it, Kern, okay, and Swishstack. They will be involved in the qualifiers. And tonight we're going to go over the workouts. They're going to announce them as well as, and we've done most of them. So we'll go over, you know, some tips and kind of how we attacked it and how that all went down. So first, Joe, you know, tell us a little bit about yourself, and you know, and how you got hooked up with Bob.
Yes, my name's Joe. I own Offshore Athletics now, formerly Offshore CrossFit. We're in our 10th year. You see, I started out in fitness, well, working out as a kid, getting prepped for wrestling was the main goal when I was in middle school. Did wrestling in high school and college, and then after that, just your typical bodybuilding type style workout that my stepdad taught me. During that phase, one of my buddies that I was working out with or training for a fire academy, he asked me to do Fight Gone Bad with him. So I never done CrossFit before, did Fight Gone Bad. Typical story of it hurt like hell, but I loved it, and it reminded me of wrestling. So I started doing CrossFit on my own. Only dabbled in the stuff that I can kind of do, so like thrusters, pull-ups. I hadn't started Olympic lifting yet. So that was like 5 years of only doing it like once a week. And then once I just went through a bunch of reoccurring injuries through trying to bench too much or, you know, shoulder press 225, stupid stuff like that. Started getting into CrossFit, learning the gymnastic side of it, then got into the Ollie, and it was really actually Ollie that got me hooked on the whole CrossFit methodology. Then a year later, opened up a gym. Left 24-hour fitness. I was a trainer there for about 10 months. Started with a small studio. It was like 700 square feet. Found a bigger place in the downtown Carlsbad Village area. So that was 3,000. Then I think that's when I met Bob right around that time. I think I was maybe 2 years into the gym as CrossFit. And then Bob came in. He instantly loved it. We clicked. We started training together. And yeah, and it's been getting better every year, ever since. Remember Bob couldn't overhead squat a PVC pipe? I think your first time he snatched 225 was split snatch, right?
Yeah.
You know, so just come a long way. He, you know, works really hard, and the most difficult thing has always been is getting him to do less. You know, so I'm like, do less. I know you want to be the best in the world, but like, we got to like take this easy. And so, yeah, now it's 10 years, and Legends is in its 4th year. It's skyrocketing right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I got 2 kids, a wife, and a dog. So it's pretty much me.
So let's talk about you coaching Bob, okay? All right, you know, I look at him, you know, I mean, he's a feisty character, okay? He's, you know, obviously rough around the edges, and he probably doesn't get along with everybody, and, you know, probably narcissistic, like we all are, you know? All right, like take us through a little bit of, you know, Bob's, you know, maturation, so to speak, you know? I mean, like I think the first time I met Bob was at Granite Games. That was back in what, 15, Bob, or 16, one of those years?
I think. Yeah, 16.
That was the first time I think I competed against Bob. So, you know, obviously that's a long time ago. You know, have you always been his coach exclusively, or has he, you know, told you to fuck off and, you know, tried comp train for a little bit, or what's up?
He's probably told me to fuck off a few times. I don't care though. So, but the biggest thing in the beginning was, again, go back into like having to like hold him back. was like, I felt like I always had to be there. Like, I was like, if I'm not there, I'm like, it's like I don't have control, and he's going to do something too much. So the past, I would say, 3 years, he's done really well at being able to, one, modify for himself. So let's say there's a nagging injury or his knee's tweaked and this and that, he's able to make that adjustment on his own. Especially once Legends started, because Bob programs, I would say 90% of it. Then you really saw his ability to game plan for his own workout, game plan for his own training week, to look at comp train or misfit or whatever program we're following right then, and being able to kind of piece together where we should push hard, where we should lay off, being able to listen to his own body. So that gives me more time to work on the higher level stuff for him, make bigger modifications rather than having to micromanage everything. And so, yeah, I would say it was about when we started Legends is when his kind of brain clicked over to the more the side of programming and listening to your own body and getting the output that you want out of it that day, and being able to take a few days off and not totally freak out, like most of us probably do. But yeah, so going through in the beginning, it was tough just because you just wanted to do everything that day. But then slowly as we progressed, it got better and better. And yeah, now it's down to the point where coaching is pretty easy now. We just need a competition to go to. So wait for that.
For sure. So talking about that, obviously Bob is, I remember when he came to my Jersey box that I was running at the time, and I had just been back from my first year of games, and he was making a run at it. I remember he told me all about it, and he made a run. Yeah. And then obviously, there was a lot of shadiness, with the scoring and with all that stuff, give us the behind the scenes there, I could see Bob being like, fucking LaSala, no way he got that fucking score, I want to see those reps, those burpees are shit, because you know what? Look, Bob had a legitimate gripe, all right, totally legitimate, and for someone I know who's working their ass off to get to somewhere and have it like fucking right there and not be able to go, from a coaching standpoint, take us through that.
Man, that was pretty rough. I was as angry as he was. Luckily, when stuff like this happens, one of us tend to be angry, then the other one tends to be the, hey, calm down type of guy. So, that's happened a few times, and most times it's like, what are we going to do? We have no control. So I pretty much just tell Bob, you're going to have to blow everyone out of the water. Like, you're going to have to not bubble, make it in on the 20th or the 10th. You're going to have to make it in the top 50%. So we just got to work harder. F those guys that cheat and shave reps or alter their videos or whatever they do. But we're just going to have to work harder, because that's only like 2 days after. Because normally we bitch for about 2 days, and then we're like, all right, we're over it. Let's get on to training. But yeah, that sucked, especially as a coach, because, there's a lot of investment as a coach emotionally. Like, you're there. My kids are like 3.5 and younger. So my wife took a lot of extra time just to parent by herself when I was there at 4 a.m. or staying late through 2 sessions a day or whatever. So it wasn't just like me as a coach. It was more like these people stole it from Bob's family. They stole it from my family. They stole it from the gym family. And so, we were pissed off, but I pretty much just said, just got to work harder. You missed it by 2 positions or 1, 21st or 22nd that year.
Like 11 points or something.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, well, how about next year we just don't even give that an option. We just blow it up and then I think you got 5th, right?
Yeah.
4.55 is what you tell everyone still.
Yeah.
So pretty much just, it sucked. All right, move on. Let's just make it that you just qualify, no questions asked. And even if someone cheats, that's their problem. Can't touch you. So pretty much it.
Yeah, I would say I'm shockingly coachable, Justin. I see what you're trying to
I'm just trying to have a little fun with
Yeah.
it. That's
So like
Tell us
basically,
the story about
here's
the dog, Joe.
yeah. So I have a small, I have a dachshund. His name is Thor, and he was sitting up or barking at someone in the gym, and Bob was working out, and I was like, sit down, sit. And Bob, mid workout, sits down on the ground. The dog. Get up, get on the rower. What are you doing? He's like, oh, sorry. And so, like, I think Ben Bergeron has a description of he wants athletes that are, you're a racehorse. You don't do more, you don't do less. You just go out and do what the trainer says. That's Bob. He's a racehorse. More so now. You know, he's able to basically, I'm like, hey, you're going to do 100 strict handstand push-ups unbroken. And he's like, okay. And he's going to try to do it, you know, so very coachable. As that story, he listens really well, better than my canine. So very coachable, but there's actually plenty of stories of that. When I'm talking to someone else or not even a human, and Bob responds well. So it's fun.
Is
Yeah.
Bob the only
Almost
games
as smart as
athlete?
the dachshund. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm almost as smart as a dachshund is kind of
Almost.
the moral of that story.
Is Bob the only games athlete you've ever coached?
Yes.
All right,
Yes,
that's
he is.
cool. Yeah, that's awesome. So
That's
this
the
guy,
only one. Our gym is competitive, but kind of never had that level of games or back in the day regionals. All of our guys, we had the guys placing in the top 125, 150 in the region. So that should have kind of given us a regional spot, but we always lacked the depth on the women's side.
right?
So we you know, that was the first time a games athlete, we had a games athlete. We had Jeff Patzer training in our gym half the time back when he made the games, but his home gym was CrossFit Davis, but he was down here training a lot. So he kindly gave us one of his signs to hang in the gym as a thank you. But yeah, Bob's the first games athlete that I've coached.
Did you have to, because Bob likes to go off on social media and really just hammer people. You have to slow him down from some of the commentary we had gotten from him when he didn't make it that year? Because you were
No. I agreed. So I'm like, go for it, man. Like, fuck that. That's bullshit. And I agreed with all of it. I'm like, yep, pretty much. So as long as one of us is bitching, that's enough. I'll just stay quiet and you can handle it. So no, didn't try to hold him back. I just tried to, I think I moved on before he did, just because like, well, next year starts today, so let's do it. And no reason for both of us to be pissed off and angry for 2 weeks. Bob will take that, and I'll just work on next year's training.
All right. Well, I mean, Kern's sweating over there, Bob. So let's go ahead and get to it. You know, take us through. You know, Bob, even if you want to go back a little bit and just take us through the fact that the opportunity to kind of end the season for a lot of people who qualified.
Yeah, sure. I'll take it back like a tiny bit longer, right? And I'll go back. So Joe and I started Legends back in 2017 was the first year. And, you know, as I've mentioned a couple of times on the show before, you know, first year, the plan was always just kind of local masters competition, but we still wanted it to be high level. And there were a bunch of, you know, high level masters athletes in the San Diego and SoCal area, like, you know, like Tanya Osborne and Carrie Sandoval and like Vic McQuaid, people like that, you know. And so I basically begged all of the top masters athletes in SoCal the first year to do Legends, just to kind of get it up off the ground. And the first year, I think, Joe, we went from like conception to competition in like under 60 days, right?
Yeah, it was under 2 months.
It was under 2 months, yeah. So like it was thrown together pretty quick, you know, just to kind of prove out the idea. You know, 2018, we doubled the field, and then it was still a one-day comp. And then 2019 was the first year that we decided to do an online qualifier and then have a 3-day live championship. And again, the field kept on getting bigger and better. We had 120-ish athletes last year, with the likes of like Val Volberl competed, Dusty Highland, a bunch of games level athletes. And so we realized like, all right, this thing is really ready to take off. The vision that we had when we first put this thing together back in 2017 is ready to come to fruition. Let's kind of drive this thing forward. And the plan going into the year was do the qualifier in June or May, I'm sorry. And then the championship was going to be in early September at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. COVID hits and we had to pivot quickly, and we decided, okay, let's do two things here. Since the games is getting canceled for Masters, let's give all the Masters that qualified for the games an automatic invite. And then two, let's move it out to a date that gives us the best chance of it actually happening, which is why we moved it to December. And now that's kind of coming together nicely, because it is, we have, over 50 people that qualified for the games are committed. We have over 1,000 people signed up for the qualifier, over 300 people that were in the AGOQ top 200 that are in the qualifier. It's really starting to come together as the biggest and best Masters competition that's ever been put together, right? And I don't see that with any ego behind it at all. I mean, those are just kind of the facts behind it. So, we're really psyched. We have great sponsorship and support. NOCO and Crossover Symmetry and RX Smart Gear and Assault Fitness and Erlen Mats, Raw Grip Chalk. One of the really cool sponsors is going to be, the watch company. I can't believe I'm spacing on them right now, Joe. Nixon. Yeah, Nixon watches. They're going to be giving like trophy watches to the champions of each division at the actual championship. It'll be engraved and with the Legends logo. Reebok is going to be the supplier of all the gear. They're also donating all of the gear for the judges and volunteers as well. So it's all, really coming together as a high level, professional event. So, Joe and I are really psyched about it. But to us, running a great competition kind of comes down to two things, right? It's athlete recruitment. So getting the best athletes that you can there and then letting those athletes demonstrate their capabilities with high quality, high level programming. And Joe and I put a lot of effort and time into the programming, and we think we do a pretty good job. We actually started programming for the championship, for this year's championship, the day after last year's championship. And we put together, I think we programmed the championship first before we programmed the qualifier, if I remember correctly. So, this year we're going to be releasing all 6 workouts officially on the 12th, and athletes have until September 1st to get them done. But as we all know, what we're going to be talking about tonight is those 6 workouts. So without any further ado, I know Kern's chomping at the bit over there. I'm going to share my screen, and we can talk about workout number 1.
So we're calling it workout 1.
What's that?
Writing down workout 1.
Yeah. All right, can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so workout 1 is going to look really familiar to everybody, because workout 1 is the workout that Steve programmed that 1 week. I can't remember what week it was, Steve. This was probably like around like week 12, but we did it for the Master Chatter. So it's 4 time. It's box jump over, wall ball, and overhead squat, 24, 21, 18. Then it reduces by 3 each round, 21, 18, 15, and then 18, 15, and 12. The weight for the men is 135 pounds. The weight for the women is 95 pounds. And then, of course, that scales, up to or down to 115, 95, and then ultimately in the 75 or in the 65 plus age group, 75 pounds. We also have the scaled ones in there as well. Since we did open up a scale division this year, we're not actually going to be hosting scaled at the championship. It's just not really practical, but we did know that there was a demand for people to do that in the qualifier. So there you go. There's workout 1.
Justin, that's the one that you and I wiped out on the box doing, I think.
No, I wiped out on the box on the burpee box jump over one.
Oh.
Remember the one that the box got higher every round?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. I don't know. I think that's the,
Yeah, I think we both did. Mm-hmm.
Don't go pulling your videos down now for that week's workout either. Leave them up there. I got to pull those.
What week was that? Yeah, maybe I should take that off my YouTube page.
I don't remember. I don't even remember who our guest was that week. Do you remember, Steve?
I got it. It was Swishtack wrote it.
I don't remember who was on, and I don't remember what week. I'll look at it right now.
I got it right now. It's week 12.
Well,
Yeah. So here was the thought process on programming that workout in particular. So I really like overhead squats as a movement that is surprisingly taxing. And I think the reason why I like it so much is because, as Joe said earlier, when I first started CrossFit, I was so fucking bad at it, right? Like I literally couldn't even overhead squat a PVC pipe. So I like putting that in there because not only is it going to blow up your legs at that 135, but it's also going to tax your core and your shoulders quite a bit. And you have the box jump overs and the wall balls to do. So, my thought process going into this was, let's really tax people's legs. Let's see what they can do on this one, and at the same time, if they're not really good at overhead squats, they're going to run into problems elsewhere in this workout.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. Jen beat me. She did it in, can I tell her time?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
He did it in 7:17.
Okay.
Janet Black also did it.
Oh, yeah.
In 7 minutes and like 30 seconds. 7:33, Janet Black did it. I did it in 7:30. Jen, go ahead. Talk about it. You had the best time.
I'm trying to remember. I really have a pretty good ability to black out workouts after I do them because they hurt so much. But I think I actually on this one started off really pretty well paced because I like overhead squats, box jumps fine, but sometimes I like on a lot of workouts I just get breathy more than anything, and I really hate wall balls. So I really just started off very steady paced and was like, well, I'm just going to kind of motor through it and go. And then I was able to pick up the pace at the end, which often doesn't happen because I redline a lot instead. And then I feel like I'm going to die. So I do remember on that one, I was surprised that I did as well as I did. And I think at the beginning, I was just sort of like, well, let's just sort of see what happens on this one. And I was just sort of kind of going through it kind of mundane instead of all excitable. So I would say that's always a good thing.
Clint, did you do this one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't think you did do it. Swishtack, you did it. How long did it take you remember?
It was definitely like 8 minutes, low 8 minutes. But there were some fast times that people posted, which is why I threw the recommendation out of make it a 30-pound wall ball just to slow some people down. But I mean, I think I went on overhead squats for me or nothing. It does get taxing as you get to that last round, just trying to hold on to that barbell. But
Mike, do you remember doing it?
Workout.
Mike, did you do this one?
I didn't do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I went into it thinking, I hate box jump overs. I think they're stupid. and I'm slow at them, you know, so I can't do like the barrel. I can't do that at all. And I was moving pretty quick. I went unbroken on the overhead squats. That's a good movement for me. And I knew because my box jumps were going to be slow that I needed to pick up the pace. I needed to go unbroken on the wall ball, which I did. It was, for me, it was a box jump workout because the other two movements are good. And I did it in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. So, I mean, I don't know if that's a good time. I know one guy posted the best score that week posted was outside of Jen. She was 7:17, was like 6 something. Somebody did it in like 6:09 or something like that.
Yeah. I think that the best times you're going to see are going to be the people that can still maintain a fast box jump over under the fatigue from going unbroken on the other two movements. I don't think you're going to get south of 7:15 unless you go unbroken. And then definitely not under like 7 unless you're like box jumps are, you know, very coordinated. They all look the same and you can maintain that speed the entire time, whether it be lateral, whatever method you're using, just maintaining a high speed the entire time. I think a lot of people are going to slow down at that point. One, for safety reasons, and two, their legs just kind of lost that poppiness that allows you to maintain high speed on box jump overs. So that's what I was curious to see is everyone's going to try to go unbroken because it's kind of like the obvious way to approach this workout since it's not too high in volume. And then I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about the box jump overs, and I think we'll see some good fail videos coming out of this, some tumbles, but yeah, so hopefully choose the method that's safest and fastest for the box jump over, because I think that is where you're going to see, you know, between the top 10%, you're going to see, you know, the top scores are fast box jump overs. I think that's where the workout is won.
Yeah, for sure.
I think for the people that, you know, they look at this and say, you know, unless all three of these are kind of wheelhouse movements for you, you know, you can't go all out on this, right? I think the people that are going to look at it and say, okay, oh, you know, I'm not great at overhead squats, or I'm not, you know, wall balls eat me up or something, right? They're going to need to figure out where a breaking point is. And, you know, to me, with these three movements, if you have to break somewhere, it should be on the wall balls, right? Because a wall ball break can be quick, but an overhead squat break will kill you, right? Like an overhead squat break is a minimum of 10 seconds. You know, it's not like you're going to drop the bar and pick it up right again. So,
You know, just to back that up, I'm sure I didn't do the wall balls unbroken because I don't ever, because they just gas me out. So I do the box jump over, like I stay squatted down low on it and I spin on top of the box and then I step down and then I like put the other foot down and then go. So I do that little like spinny thing so I don't have to do as much jumping. But I'm positive I didn't go unbroken on the wall balls, and then I just did quick overhead squats. I like them, you know, they were fine. Nice. From what I remember.
Yeah, I would say the same thing to Joe's point. I mean, if you're proficient at overhead squats and wall ball and you do them unbroken, everyone's going to be the same. I mean, there's that much of a difference. I mean, you got to wait for the ball to come down. The space that you can make up time is on the jumps for sure.
Well, and I can tell you from a judging perspective, you know, I've seen a lot of shitty overhead squats in my day. As a point of emphasis, we are going to be tight on the overhead squats, where that, not only the depth, man, it's the open up at the top, where if people are, you know, pulling that shit where they like open 3/4 of the way at the top instead of all the way on the overhead squats and come back down, they're going to find out that they're going to get a lot of penalties. So slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right?
For sure. All right, 2.
Cool, man. You guys ready to move on to workout 2?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah, this one's fun.
Yeah. How the fuck do I share the screen again? Oh, yeah. All right.
Your screen.
There we go. All right. So workout 2. Workout 2 is a clean ladder that involves overhead walking lunge, and it's a hang squat clean ladder. So it starts off with a 120-foot overhead walking lunge, and then you have 10 hang squat cleans at 135/95. Then the distance on the overhead walking lunge comes down, but the hang squat clean weight, the reps go down, but the weight goes up. So then it's 8 hang squat cleans at 185, right? Then you have 6 at 225. Sorry, I gotta go back because I don't want to fuck it up. Whoops, I'm already fucking it up. All right, 6 at 225, 4 at 255, and then finish off with 2 at 285. And the distance on the overhead walking lunge goes 120, 80, 80, 80, and then that last one's just 40 feet. There's a requirement to get through the 185, 125 pound bar by the 8-minute mark. And if you do, you get the full 16 minutes to do the workout. So on this one, I wanted to test strength, but I like to test strength under duress, as opposed to just like a simple 1 rep max. I like people to have to earn their strength, and so this is pretty challenging, right? I mean, this is a pretty heavy on the legs. It's certainly since it's a hang squat clean. In the older age groups, once you get into, I believe it's the 55 and up, it can be any kind of clean. It can be a power clean. But this one's hard, and I don't expect a lot of people in the 45 age groups and up to finish this workout. This one is really testing strength, and I think the way that you need to test strength is put it out there in a way that are really going to challenge people, right? Where people are really going to have a hard time getting this done. So
Was it 8 minutes was the first cap?
yeah, 8 minutes is the first cap. You got to get through the first 2 rounds of the walking lunges and the first 2 rounds of the hang squat cleans in order to make it past that into the next 3 rounds, right?
So what's the workload there? That's 18 squat cleans from the hang, and then 120 feet on the overhead walking lunge. In 8 minutes.
200 feet on the overhead walking lunge, and the dumbbell is only at 50.
So yeah, but I'm saying to get to the checkpoint, the 8-minute checkpoint, 200.
200 feet, and then
Okay.
18 squat
And
cleans.
18 squat cleans. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I would expect most people to get to the second part.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and that was the point, right? Like, we want to challenge people, make them, so they have to move fast, right? A little bit uncomfortably fast for some people to make it to the second part. And then it's all about, can you hit those weights or not, right? Like, either you have that 285 and 195, right, Jen? Hang
Yeah.
squat, or you don't, right?
Yeah,
Jen,
195. Yeah, I did it.
talk to us. Let's know. This one seems interesting.
I loved the workout, to be honest. I thought it was great. I broke it up a lot at the beginning. Like, looking back, I felt pretty good when I finished. So it was one of those like, oh, should I have not broke it up as much at the beginning? But I think because I broke it up at the beginning, I felt pretty good with it. But I went, was 10 squat cleans first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went 4-3-3, and I did the 120 feet, and just after the 20 feet, I just kind of took the dumbbell down for a second and then just put it back up. I'm very right hand favorite on those, so I did like 1 or 2 on my left.
She got out.
Uh-oh.
It's a good picture.
Yeah.
All right, go on to the next workout.
All right. So, let's fill in the blanks for it, Bob. Did she talk
Yeah.
about this? Did she finish it? I'm assuming
Yeah.
she finished.
She did. She finished it, but Jen's Oli numbers are huge, right? So, 195 hang squat clean isn't probably anywhere close to her 1 rep. So she finished it. I want to say she finished it like high 13s, maybe.
Jen, when did you finish it? We lost you. You could see your replica. Oh, it's gone now. We got you. You're in the bathroom now?
Hey, Jen, can you hear us?
All right.
He's
My
having a
power
rough one.
just blinked out.
We can hear you.
Hear you.
And I can't even see what I'm doing now because now it's
This is kind of like one of those whispers things.
what the hell's going on?
I think by week 19, we'd have good quality.
Yeah, we've
It's not, it's Zoom, you know, and it's on the person too.
Okay,
There you go. Is that the
I'm back.
shower?
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Sorry. What did I miss? Should I keep talking about the workout?
How long did it take you?
13:03.
Okay, and that was on a 16-minute cap. And if you were to do it again, you probably could go a little bit faster, right? Because you felt like
I think possibly I could have gone 5.5 or 6.4 or maybe even 10 right off the bat, but then maybe I would have been more gassed. But I broke that up, and then the 8s I went 3.2, and then for 6 I went 3.3. For 4 was at 4 at 175. I hit doubles on those, so I was really happy about that. So I took just enough rest, I think, to hit 175 for a double both times. And then in my head for the 195, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a double. And then I did one, and I was like, no, forget it. But it felt pretty good anyway. So
like Bob was saying, though. I'm sorry, Joe. Like Bob was saying, you know, what's your 1RM clean, Jen?
230.
Yeah, so people put that in perspective, okay?
Right.
You know, I don't think many people are going to be doubling 175, you know, all right, and then picking it up and doing another double. But,
Right.
you know, a workout that definitely you could have probably done faster, all right? If you know, again, you know, the way you went about even singles, I think you could have probably shaved 40 seconds off of that.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good job, Jen. All right, Joe, what were you going to say?
You know what she
I
was
was
at?
Go ahead, man.
How close was you to the first cap?
What's
I
that?
don't know. Well, once
How
we
close
get back, we
was you
will.
to
But
the
Joe,
first
what were you
cap?
going to say about that?
Me?
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, that's where I think you're gonna see a big turning point in the workout of, like, you know, who can maintain a high speed, good scores at second to last barbell. The 4, you know, having to do 4 singles is gonna take a long time, right? If you can hit a double double, like, that's gonna save you, I think, 45 plus seconds, being able to hit 2 doubles rather than having to hit 4 singles. And then as a coach, I wouldn't really worry about what's your 1 RM. I would think, you know, what's your 3 RM from the hang? You know, what can you do? You can catch it and do another one, catch it and do another one. Because what we're looking at is a lot of fatigue in the legs. Even though it's just a 50-pound dumbbell and 35 for the ladies, it's still like the fatigue is going to set in. And so I know for myself, that's one of my biggest weaknesses is leg strength and being able to stay strong under a bar deep into a workout. And so, like, for me, this workout, I would kind of just take it easy throughout most of it. And then I would expect the 4th barbell to be, like, you know, the make or break for me. I mean, my 1 RM from the hang is right around 300, but even that second to last barbell, 255, I would be like, all right, 2 doubles is going to be difficult, and don't miss, because if you miss, that's going to cost you a lot of energy and a lot of time. So no missing, and then being able to hit the 4 hang squat cleans in 2 sets is going to be a big deal to get the top scores, I think.
Jen, what did you want to say before?
I don't know. I was just rambling, I think.
Okay.
Hey, Kern had a question for you, Jen.
Oh,
that?
yeah, Jen, where were you for the first, like, close to the cap? It was an 8-minute cap you had to get through. What were you in the 5-minute range?
I'm not sure, but I was not close. Like,
Yeah.
I think that, you know, if you have a chance of getting to the end range, like if you're in that level that you're at a chance where you have that kind of strength, then I don't think it's good. I remember glancing at the clock and being like, oh, plenty of time, but I don't remember off the top of my head where I was. But yeah, it's very doable. And like I said, I felt like, oh, maybe I'm breaking it up too much. Should I be worried? But it was still fine. And I think, like I said, good to break it up ultimately.
Well, I don't know if I'm doing doubles at 255. I don't know.
I don't know.
I would do singles, me personally. But I think at the 45 age group, that's going to be a spicy weight. You look at the clean and jerk 1RM,
Yeah.
That people did. They got, 255, 265. I know Joe. I understand Joe's point. I was trying to make the point that Jen is a lifting monster, and people are going to be hitting her numbers kind of. But even in the clean and jerk, like I said in the qualifier, how many people were over 250?
Yeah, not a
20, 30. Maybe. But anyway, that one looks like fun. I want to do that one.
Can't wait to see some videos of some great cleans out there.
Are you?
Yeah.
One question on that. Are you from? I'm sorry. What were you saying, Mike?
No, I was saying, where do you see my video?
Oh, don't worry, I'll see it.
Yeah. When you guys write a workout like that, not to get off of the workouts, but when you write a workout like that and it's an online, are you concerned with logistics? On being able to fit everything in and still be able to see the standards you're trying to hold. I know this workout doesn't seem like there's a lot involved. You have the bar and that kind of shit, but
Yeah, we definitely think about that. And to be honest, that's more so Bob, because he's done a lot more qualifiers and having to do a lot more videos than me. So, we've gone through programming and workout, and he's like, "Yeah, this is going to be really tough to get the clock." Well, luckily, WeTime has the clock, and other apps have it too. But when that didn't happen, it was like, okay, you have to have the clock in there, and then the rower, and then you're using a pull-up bar, but also a wall ball, and maybe your wall ball is against the wall, not in the rig. It was just like very difficult. So, Bob, has made a bunch of good points. Like, yeah, we should probably do this because that's going to be super difficult for a lot of people to fit everything together. I was like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So, we definitely take that into account.
And that's the reason why we did 20-foot max distance this year for this and for when we get later into the handstand walk workout, because when you have longer than that, that's when you get those stupid camera angles, right? And people are all the way across the room and you can't even really see the movements. And also just due to COVID, right? We understand that people have limited space, right? Or a lot of people do, right? Especially anybody who's trying to do these from home. So we figured 20 feet made the most sense. And when you do it that way, we've tested out like the camera angles, and we've actually in the scorecard and on Competition Corner, we actually have a photo of here's the suggested camera angle that you should take.
good idea.
So
Yes, not required.
Yeah,
Cool.
right. Well, it's not required because again, we're dealing with COVID, right? If everybody was in their gym, we would say yeah, this is exactly what it has to be. But some people are going to be at their home, and they might not be able to do that camera angle.
Right.
So,
I've got really long legs, so it's going to take me about 3 lunges to get 20.
yeah, I figured you'd like this one, Steve.
Yeah.
I had you in mind when I wrote it up.
See what
All
those
right. You guys ready for workout 3?
Yep.
See it.
All right. Workout 3. I can't even remember which one this is. Oh yeah. So this one is an AMRAP, and it's interesting. So it's 15-minute AMRAP, and you got it's rowing, heavy dumbbell snatches, and handstand push-ups. So it's a 15 cal row. It's 30 dumbbell snatches, so 70 pound for the men and 50 pound for the women, and then 30 handstand push-ups. One thing on the dumbbell snatch is it has to be 5 and 5, so it's not necessarily alternating. And the handstand push-ups can be whatever you want. So they can be, strict, hipping, it just needs to be a handstand push-up. We don't really care. So, and then from a scaling and age group perspective, the weight starts going down at the 50-year-old age group. And then for the older age groups, the 55, 59, 60 to 64, and the 65 plus, we have two things going on. So we still have them doing handstand push-ups, but it's to a 2.5 inch elevation. So they're doing it to ab mats. And then in the 65 plus for the men, we reduced the reps down to 15 handstand push-ups. And then on the women's side, we started reducing the reps at the 55 to 59, at 15, the 60 to 64, and the 65 plus. And then on the scale, they're still doing handstand push-ups too, but they have different elevations as well. So there you go. Our thought process on this one, we wanted an AMRAP. We wanted people working the whole time. We wanted a heavier dumbbell to tax the core and the shoulder. And we wanted to test people's intelligence on the rower, quite frankly. So we'll see how smart people are by how hard they hit that rower.
Any line for any measure for the handstand, or just lockout?
No, it would be, regional or games standard, right?
Yep.
So it's lockout. It has to be within the 3x2
Yep.
box. Obviously, if your age group calls for no elevation, that means, no ab mats. It means no skull pads. Your hands and your head have to be at the same exact level. So.
But an ab mat's cool, right, Bob?
An ab mat is cool as long as you have a plate that's the same height.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
That handstand, it's the 36 by 24, right? Is there any kind of like line, no line at all, even for the feet? They can be totally open. That's what you asked, Kern?
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
I'm saying, how people's feet are like all over?
Your feet have to be inside your hands.
Okay, all right.
Inside
That's
your hands
what
or inside the box? Inside your hands?
Your feet have to be inside your hands, I think is the way it's written up in the rules.
Okay.
But that's the standard where you don't have measure the circumference of your ball sack. And,
Nice.
Yeah, screwed.
So Clint, you did this.
I did it, but I alternated every one. I didn't know you could go every 5.
it's not, that's fine. It's basically the same workout.
I thought it was a dumbbell.
Yeah. So we wanted the dumbbell to be heavier just because I'm pretty good at handstand push-ups. I love any handstand push-up workout. And I was thinking what would make this difficult for me? And that's a heavy dumbbell. I have to kind of change my whole thought process behind the workout. If it was a 50, just throw that thing around and row and handstand push-ups. I just breeze through it all the whole time. But the 70, I'm all right, well, the back and the shoulders are going to get taxed, and then you got to do a significant amount of handstand push-ups per round. Then you're going to get on the rower, and I think a lot of people are going to look at the relatively low calorie requirement per 15 per round, and they're going to think, oh, it's not a big deal. But that should be, I think, the rest phase, which is kind of cruise, and then get ready for that dumbbell again to hit. And we stuck to 5s, right? Yeah, the switch every 5, Bob.
Yeah.
Just so that people can hit it a little bit quicker. It's heavier, so alternating is going to be a little bit more taxing, I think, rather than once it's in the hand, hit 5 and switch. So we definitely wanted to kind of take it away from a handstand push-up workout, but still have a lot of handstand push-ups. So I think we did a pretty good job of that with the heavy dumbbell.
Yeah, because I know the handstands were hard even after the satchel.
Yeah, cool. That's
I was shocked. Ooh, this is hard.
Yeah, so that's what we're going for there. I really like that workout. That one looks like it's going to be definitely, like you said, the dumbbell snatch. That's going to be the difference between the top scorers and everyone else.
How many rounds, Clint?
I was in that 3rd round of the handstand push-up, so I was 2+.
Okay.
Nice.
That's a
But again,
70.
I alternated every single one, so that's all.
Did you touch and go those alternate?
Did I? Well, I mean, I dropped it to the ground and picked it right back up. I mean,
Oh, okay.
70's heavy.
No, for sure. So 70. So that I couldn't do this workout because I don't have a 70-pound dumbbell. My question to you guys is, are you concerned with something like that with the COVID situation? And will you allow any type of 5-pound, 10-pound plate taped to a 50? Like, how willing are you guys to go on that one? Because seriously, I mean, some people might not have access to a 70-pound dumbbell. I own a gym. I don't have a 70-pound.
Joe, I'll let you take this one, man.
We
That's
just
a shitty
opened. I got a
gym you own.
75. I got a 75.
I don't have any problem with people taping plates to a dumbbell. Just, be safe. 'Cause that's going to be a little
Yeah.
dangerous going over your head.
Why don't you should just take two 35s together, Justin.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah. So, I mean, when COVID, with any piece of equipment, we were obviously concerned with COVID because a lot of people working out in their home gyms. And so, people that don't have ring muscle ups or bar muscle ups or,
Right.
wall ball space and this and that. So we released the required equipment over a month ago, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I think 6 weeks plus. So we wanted to give people plenty of time, like, hey, like, here's what's going to be in it. From the end of the open, it was well over 2 months that we released the equipment that's going to be required. So I don't mind people taping stuff to dumbbell as long as it's clearly seen in the video. Like, hey, this is a 50-pound dumbbell with 2 10s and a 5 or whatever concoction you guys can make up. Just make it clear. And wear a helmet if you need to. I don't know. Be safe.
Wear a helmet.
Well, don't stand push-ups because then you're cheating, so
Yeah, that's true.
take it off each time and then put it back on. But yeah, we know that we're not going to please everyone. Some people just have already kind of said like they don't have access to a gym, this and that. We're like, well, we're trying to get as many people as possible, but still have the high level of programming that we think is required to go to a championship like we're planning. So saw a couple people on Instagram, scrambling to get dumbbells, and they were successful to get them. So I think the equipment's out there. Just maybe take a little bit more research these days.
Right. Clint, how did you break up the first round handstands?
I don't remember. I probably did a really too big of a set. I probably did 20 and 10.
I was gonna say, so if you went aggressive, do you think it's smart? Like in hindsight, do you think it would be good advice to do small sets of handstands because you're gonna struggle with the dumbbell a little bit if you don't, or the dumbbell is just gonna be awful, and you're trying to get to that as soon as possible, to have as much time on it.
I thought the dumbbell just took a lot out of you. Like the
Right.
rowing was a break, and then you just, the handstand push-ups.
Yeah.
I did this one too, guys. Bob had asked me to ask Janet Black to do it, and she had said maybe because she tweaked her back, and so I just did it just in case. And I agree completely with Clint that it was the dumbbell snatch workout. And I think that the every 5, just because in most competitions or in a lot of situations that I'm doing a workout, they're alternating. So I thought the every 5 was actually really hard. But the dumbbell snatches it was definitely, that was the whole workout. The handstand push-ups is something I'm good at, so they weren't that bad. The rowing, I think I was rowing like 700 pace. I was barely moving on the rower. So I rested a lot on the rower and then did all 5s on the dumbbell snatches, but I was definitely having to breathe and bend over a fair bit. And then on the handstand push-ups, I went 18-12 on the first round, 13-17 on the last round. And I knocked out all 30 on the last round and finished at exactly, what was the cap? 15 minutes? Or what was the AMRAP? Yeah. Yeah, right, at exactly 15 minutes. I turned around and the clock said 15 minutes right on the nose. But I died trying to do all 30.
You did 30 unbroken at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're my hero.
I'm very short, so they're a good movement for me.
That's exactly, what we were looking for in this workout, right? And just, again, kind of philosophically, when Joe and I program workouts, I'm okay, thanks. When Joe and I program workouts, we don't want strength to be isolated, just so, like, people have to earn their strength. People also have to earn their gymnastics as well, right? So if you want to hit gymnastics, we're going to throw in something in there that's going to tax you before you're allowed to get to that, right? And that's the same with the heavy barbell also. Cool. You guys ready for workout 4?
Do it.
I think I'd be able to figure out the share screen thing by now, but keep forgetting that part. All right. Workout 4. Oh yeah, workout 4 is chipper. So light barbell, 95 for men, 65 for women. It starts off with 35 deadlifts, then 35 shoulder to overhead. Then it is 35 back squats that must be taken, either directly from your shoulder overhead or, from the ground, like it can't be taken from a rack. And then you finish off, or then 35 snatches, and then it ends with a 200-foot handstand walk. Again, the idea here is, handstand walk is a gymnastic movement that, people, can be really great at. If you want to be really great at it, you have to get through a lot of work first before you get there. This workout is an 11-minute time cap. And that's pretty much it. On the scaled side, just one quick thing I want to go over real quick on the scaled side is the scaled movement for the handstand walk. Instead of handstand walk, they have a dumbbell bear crawl. So they have to do bear crawls with dumbbells in their hands. So that'll be fun for the scaled people.
I'd rather handstand walk. I hate those.
Yeah, me too. Pretty miserable. But again, the point being there, they're like the body weight ninjas that are just fucking awesome at handstand walking. You got a lot of work to do before you can even get to that. And when you get there, you're going to be taxed. And I think this 95-pound and 65-pound weight is going to shock people, personally.
I remember the one year the qualifier had 95. It was like thrusters, cleans. What was that, 19 maybe, or 18? Thrusters, cleans. There was like a bunch of barbell lifts, and your hands were like fucking numb.
Yeah. So Jen did this workout.
Yeah. So I did all 3 of these workouts back to back Saturday morning, and I'm going to just say this one sucked. Maybe it's because it was my 3rd one, but it was terrible. I completely fell apart on the snatches, right? So it's like going through the deadlifts. I think I broke once. And then I did the shoulder to overhead. I probably broke twice maybe or something like that. Back squats, I didn't break. Oh, I put it on my back and it slipped off because I was so sweaty. So then I had to redo it. And then by the time I got to the snatches, I was literally doing singles. And if you want to go off of a 1 rep max snatch, it's not even 50%. So it was no excuse other than I was just, like battery acid in my veins, like with that feeling, it was just terrible. So I don't remember how much time I had when I got to the handstand walk, but it wasn't much, and I got 65 feet. So I did that one because Jenna, the other person that that Bob had asked me to ask her to do this one, she competed this weekend and she said she would do it today, but I just felt bad. I didn't know if she was going to do it, but she did it, and she got back to me and she said, I maybe forgot to tell her the time cap because she finished it in 10:39. So okay. She must have just kept going. And she said she finished the bar work in just over 6 minutes and that the handstand walk was terrible.
So we,
actually good feedback.
Originally when we programmed this, Jen, we were thinking it was a 10-minute cap, but then we adjusted it to 11. Really
okay.
On your feedback to put that in there, because it's the separator in this workout.
Yeah.
Right?
And I was excited to get there. Like I'm that person you're talking about, you know, you have to earn it or whatever. And I'm watching them minutes just tick away as I'm stuck on snatches, and I just can't even hardly, I mean, obviously that's how this happened, right? So yeah, it was terrible.
I always think, in deadlift, that's a great place to break up because it's such a short range of motion. And I don't care what the weight is, 30 reps on your hammies, or that's going to affect the snatch. And, you know, it's just going to light you up for the back squat. It's, I think people always think that like, oh, it's deadlift, it's light, I'm going to crush this. And they do big sets there. But it's such a short range of motion. You drop the bar, it's right there, you know? Like, I even think you can do quick sets. Again, I think he came pretty aggressive on it. But, you know, I bet if you redid it and you broke it up a little different, you would have crushed the handstands.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I was just like, I don't want to do it. Maybe, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And I kind of was like, well, let's just see what happens. And I went out, you know, I mean, like I said, I broke up, but I still definitely should have intentionally taken breaks on this one because it's just sneaky, you know. It's really, you can even get through the back squats, I think, okay. It's, you know, very lightweight, so yeah, my legs were burning, but then when I put it down, I wasn't ready for how much my whole body was on fire when it was time to then do the most technical movement. So you guys are sneaky.
I like
snatches at the end.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good part to do. Just because if you do light your hamstrings up and you do light your back up on the back squats, when it's time to get set in that snatch, you're going to be smoked. You went singles out of the gate the whole time?
No, I probably did 2 first. Maybe 5 in the first set. And then I think I quickly, and then I did a lot of singles and I was like, this is pathetic. So then I would do like 2 and I'm like, I can't. It was terrible.
I think when Joe and when I first programmed this, so this is what happened. I'll give you guys a little insight into some of the programming. Like it's weird, but I think of a lot of programming in the shower for whatever reason. And then I'll come in, I'll like run into Joe's office like a little school.
Is that why your strain is so high when you shower?
Yeah, it is.
Bob
Yeah.
had like we have Whoop, you know, he had like a 6.0 strain shower. We're like, what the fuck are you doing in there? Like, programming for Legends. That's what it is.
Yeah. I'll come running into Joe's office. I'm like, oh man, I got the greatest workout. And like originally this workout was 135 pounds. And yeah, and Joe was like, dude, come on, man. Like that's just fucking insane. You know, like let's bring it back. You know, we don't want to kill people. And 95 and 65 it's gonna hurt, man. It really is, especially because of what you were saying, Justin, right? Where people are going to be like, oh, 95, that's, you know, a fifth of my 1 rep max deadlift. I could do these all day. Go ahead, man. Let's see how the handstand walk turns out for you, you know?
As a coach, like if Bob was doing this workout, like Justin said, small sets, but Bob also mentioned wall balls in the previous workout being the place to break, and you don't really think that you should break there. I think every movement can be broken up right here. Like the deadlifts in 3-4 sets, just because the deadlift just being a quick and easy way to let your hamstring settle down, maybe 2-3 second break and pick up another quick sets. So I think time under tension. So anytime you have the barbell, you got fast reps moving, and then let it go, rest, pick it back up, because the snatch having to do singles is going to take a while, especially with those are smaller weights, 25s and 15s. So they're going to skip around a bit. You don't want to be chasing the barbell everywhere. Then if you're not, I mean, Bob's not the best at handstand walks. He's good at them, but, you know, I want to have him go into the handstand walks, being able to hit, you know, the whole length quickly, not like struggling for every 5 feet. So it's pretty much just like pace it, and then give yourself, try to give yourself 2+ minutes to get handstand walks in. And yeah, I think people that, like you said, Justin, do 35 unbroken because it's only 95. I think it's going to be a big mistake. And the shoulder overhead. That's a quick and easy way. I mean, you can take 4 breaks there. Bar sets on the ground, settle yourself, pick it back up, hit another 7 to 10 reps, whatever it may be. But I think breaking those up is going to be important, and the back squats, obviously.
You gonna let people back rack the shoulder overhead?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah,
Because they're gonna do that.
Oh, for sure.
I would.
yeah. I mean, but that first rep won't count though. They'll have to bring it back and then.
Yeah, I would just duck it and
Yeah.
then start. But yeah.
Handstand walk, 20-foot segments.
Yeah,
But
every
segment
5 feet. Every 5 feet is a point.
5 feet.
Yeah, but the max distance is 20 feet before you have to
20.
learn. Yeah, and again, that was for COVID.
Yeah.
Hands behind. What do we got? Hands behind. Can I walking start? What do we do?
It's got to be behind the line. Yeah,
Be watching that in the video too.
yeah.
All right.
Kurt's favorite movement.
Shit, I was gonna say something else about. Oh, this is the other workout. So the heavy clean workout and this workout, most people aren't gonna finish. You know, I don't expect a lot of people to finish.
11 minutes is the cap.
Yeah, 11 minutes. So prove me wrong, people. Prove me wrong.
Justin will finish it.
All right. So you guys ready to go on? Workout 5?
What do we have? 6 of them
Yeah.
total?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. I
It's
got
the easy one.
This is the
Oh yeah. This
a
one,
lot of retesting.
yeah. This one people will be able to do over and over again. So workout 5 is.
Joe, you did this one too, right?
Yeah.
You beat me, fucker.
I got like a 440 something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's.
I only got that because Bob told me your score, so I'm like, all right, well, I have to beat
Fair
him.
enough.
So this one is it's double unders and toes to bar. 25 double unders, 1 toe to bar, 25 double unders, 2 toes to bar, all the way, you know, figure out the pattern there. 25 double unders, you end up with 10 toes to bar. Pretty simple workout, quick workout. When we were putting this one together, we wanted a sprint that had some level of skill associated with it. You know, these two movements, I think, fit well together, double unders and toes to bar. You know, you start to tax your grip and your shoulders a little bit. You know, transitions obviously are going to be really important here. You know, and it's relatively small sets of the double unders. Sure, you know, it's 250 double unders total, but I think the older age groups will be happy with us and that you only have to do 25 at a time. I know that that's feedback that I've received from the older age groups in the past, that qualifier workouts that have, you know, 200 double unders as a set, like, just kind of eats them up, and they would much rather do smaller sets and a whole bunch of them. So this one's a sprint. I think most of us here have done this one, right? I know Clint, you did it. Justin did it. I did it. Joe did it. Jen, did you do this one?
No.
Yeah. So Justin and Clint, thoughts?
Okay, Clint.
I mean, it's easy to do. It's just you got no tripping up, and you know, it's not a lot of, you can't have like long transition. So it literally has to be like right next to the bar, and that was it. Like I just, you know, I went at a decent pace, as good as I could go. So I thought it was easy.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I have a bit of advice for this too, but I mean, I'm not really great at toe to bar, so I love the rep scheme. It was perfect. Like, I was warm by the time I got to like 8, you know, and that started to get a little taxing, but I knew I was going to hold on for it. I did everything unbroken. I did what Clint said too. I was really close to where the bar was without like hitting the bar on my jump rope. And I think people make a mistake on this. People think that they need to do the double under so fast, and then they toss the rope on the ground, you know, and then it's not there. You have enough time to lay it down so that when you drop and you come off the toe to bar, you're like right in the middle of the rope, or maybe you got to take a step or whatever it may be. But I think people make the mistake of just like not like tossing it, but just like dropping their rope and the handle spins out to the side. You have enough time to quickly lay it down, jump up, make a nice smooth transition. You know, for me, if I was to redo this, I probably would have sped up the double unders. That was a good movement for me, but I was concerned just from like my mindset going into it, being blind and not having done the workout. I was concerned that I was going to turn around the double under so fast that my midline was going to fry faster and I wouldn't have been able to go unbroken, if that makes sense. You know, my turnarounds on the double unders would have been, I mean, on the total bar would have been faster when I got the higher reps because I was going so fast on the double unders. So I did ease that back. But since I did it before, I think I could definitely be closer to Joe's, you know, 450 number-ish kind of. I'd say it was like in the 440s. But I think I could shave off a good 10, 20 seconds if I sped up the jump rope a little bit more. That's my tip.
Yeah, I think that's going to be important is, like you said, like when I do this workout, pretty much any double under workout, I have a very robotic, methodical way I put my rope down. So I finish my set, I swing it around, I pick my toes up, the rope comes into underneath my toes, I step on it, set the handles down, and it doesn't take me any more time. I don't toss it, but like very lay it down. I spun, jumped on the bar. And so toes bar and double unders are good movements for me. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to push this hard in transition, but I'm going to bring down my pace in the double unders to like just my normal cruise pace. Like if I was going for, 200 unbroken, I'm just going to go, okay, cool. I'm just cruising. When I started this workout, it was a running clock and I messed up twice in the first 25. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to start the next minute. And that's when my workout will start again, because again, trip ups, that's going to make or break. If you're not going unbroken, you're not going to get the top score, I don't think. So messed up twice in the first 25. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just rest till the next minute starts, then I'll try again. And so I think we'll see a lot of that, but methodical in how you place your rope. Also, if you're good at toes to bar, I think everyone here knows, like, you got the toes to bar technique for a set of 25, and then the toes to bar for, sets of 7 to 10. Tighter kip, a lot more ab and hip flexor rather than using a ton of lats. So I had a very small kip in my toes to bar, which made the turnaround of the cycle time super fast.
Cool. Anything else, you guys, or you want to move on to workout 6?
I'm good.
That's good.
Final workout, Bob.
Yeah. So this one, nobody did this one out of us. But people who did, we did like a online challenge earlier in the year will recognize this workout for the most part, but we made some modifications to it. So this workout has thrusters, bar facing burpees, and then pulling gymnastics. So it starts off with 3 rounds of 7 thrusters, 7 burpees, and 7 pull-ups. Then it moves to 3 rounds of 6 thrusters, 6 bar facing burpees, 6 chest to bar. Then 3 rounds of 5 thrusters, 5 bar facing burpees, 5 bar muscle ups, and then 3 rounds of 4 thrusters, 4 bar facing burpees, and 4 bar muscle ups. Now the thrusters go up in weight every time. So it starts off for men at 95 and women 65. And then I'll just play it through to the sheet. In the meantime, we got to watch Joe do bar muscle ups.
They could be better.
Yeah. Lot to critique there. Oh, sorry. It starts off at 75 pounds. So the inspiration for this workout is kind of the Bergeron beep test, right? But it's Bergeron beep test where the load gets heavier, the movements become more complicated, and it's not regular burpees, it's bar facing burpees, quite frankly, just because they're a lot easier to judge. In addition to that, you have to get through the first 3 rounds in 4 minutes. The next 3 rounds, you have to be done by 8. Rounds 7 to 9, you have to have complete by 12. And then rounds 10 to 12 within the time cap, 16 minutes. So when we did this one in our challenge back in January, it was sevens all the way through, Joe, wasn't it?
Yeah, the sevens all the way through. And did anyone make it to the final? Did anyone
No.
finish it?
Nobody finished it.
Nobody finished it. So I think that's why we made the adjustment to the rep scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was sevens all the way through. So we dropped we took a rep off each segment. You know, that's 6-5-4. Just because we want to see people get deeper into this workout and finish it. So I think that'll help a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that final set, you're going from 7 to 4. That's significant decrease in reps, especially in the bar muscle up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna smoke your triceps when you get to the bar muscle up. With all the thrusters, like just holding the weight in rack is gonna smoke you. You know, so but the weights aren't ridiculously heavy at all. So I mean, but they're gonna be enough to just fucking flare you up enough.
Yeah, and the weights aren't, the weights aren't super heavy on the thrusters. The reps aren't a lot either. We want to see people moving on this one, right? I mean, that was kind of the thought process on this, where we didn't want people staring at the bar, staring at the rig, waiting to do their sets. Like, somebody attacks this smart and right, they should definitely be able to finish this within the cap. And, but it's keep moving that whole time, right? And don't blow yourself up.
What's the cap? I missed it.
16.
16.
I see people getting way aggressive early and killing themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going to be like, at 75, it's not worth dropping. And they're going to make the same mistake on the deadlifts and the shoulder to overheads on that other workout.
4 minutes is fast. Like, you got to have it done in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people I did the online challenge in January were very surprised about not making it out of the 4 minute mark. They're like, oh shit. All right. So they redid it and then they made it, but it's like, it's pretty difficult, a lot of people have done the Bergeron beep test in a while. I think it's kind of, a 3-4 plus year ago thing, but, and I've done it quite a bit. So
it's hard.
When Bob first programmed this is one of the workouts I think he programmed like right after last year's championship.
Yeah.
And I asked him to use it for the online challenge. I was like, I think we can get some good feedback off this. We're not going to tell anyone we're going to use in the open, but yeah, so a lot of people didn't even make it out of the 4 minute or didn't make it out of the 8 minute, especially too. Because if you're barely making that 4 minute mark, then you have to go up and weight on the thruster and it goes to chest to bar, you're going to have a really hard time making it out of the 8 minute mark.
And you got to make the weight change.
Yeah, you're allowed to have a pit crew.
Oh, okay. What about multiple bars?
Yeah. We're not allowing multiple bars because of COVID in any of the workouts. You can have pit crew for anything, but not multiple bars, because we didn't feel like that was really fair, because people that have access to a gym versus people that don't, that's kind of bullshit.
Because the beep test is just regular burpees. That's way different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Especially at 75, you drop 75, and Joe said it before, that bar starts fucking bouncing all over the place. You'd be chasing that thing down to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I think breaking up the gymnastics is going to be a good way to attack this. It's only pull-ups, it's only chest to bar, but I think just breaking those up into 4 and 3 from the get-go, a quick 2-second break, I think will help preserve those bar muscle ups, because you don't want to break up the bar muscle ups too much. Those take a lot longer on cycle time. So I would think even breaking up the pull-ups 4 and 3 and the chest to bar 3 and 3 would be a good way to go.
Yeah, and just going back to the first workout that we talked about, right? Like picking a place to break it. It's got to be the place where you have the most recovery and the least downtime, right? Like you got to kind of do that calculus, and it's on the gymnastics, right? Because if you drop the barbell, that thing's bouncing all over the fucking place, right? Plus it takes a lot longer to gather yourself and go again. Never break up burpees, right? I mean, that's just stupid. So, took me a couple years of Joe yelling at me to learn that. But yeah, so I agree with Joe. Like the smart move is save yourself on the pulling gymnastics in the first couple of rounds and then go balls out and 7 to 12.
Yeah, I'm glad I got an invite.
Wait, so who has so Kern, you still have to qualify, right?
I have to qualify.
Kern, Zach, and Paddock?
No, Clint has an invite. He just hasn't accepted it yet.
Okay.
4 times game athlete.
How dare you? I'm a 4 times games athlete.
And our oldest guy. Clint,
Me
would
and
you
Zach gotta- we
qualify
gotta-
for 50 next year?
No, I got one more year.
Oh, it's going to be tough, the old age bracket.
Yeah. I was going to say, I can't wait to jump up to the 50 bracket. They scale everything for us.
Get a nice little discount.
That's right.
Well, I mean, Bob, I mean, obviously, you guys, they're well thought out. They look well planned, It's going to be interesting to see some of these scores that come out.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to hit tomorrow.
You got a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we I think people are super excited to get all the workouts at once, but then it's kind of like blind leaderboard. It's so different. I think I think a couple other comps have done it. I can't name one off the top of my head though, but I think the blind leaderboard is going to be very interesting to see, which one you're going to retest, because we're going to be Bob displaying their placement, right?
No, you can't do that. We're only going to be showing who's in. You can't actually show their placement.
Wait, so like the overall leaderboard though,
Yeah.
we can show that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. But yeah, blind leaderboard all the way through and see how it shakes out on September 2nd.
Yeah. Hey, so I just did like IG live on this thing, and I'm like, what do I do? Do I just delete it now? Yeah, because we're gonna send everybody over to the chat.
No, you have to save it.
I do.
I think so.
But wouldn't we want them just to come over to Chatter and see it on YouTube?
Yeah.
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 That's what we want to do. I'm gonna delete
Okay.
it. See ya.
Okay.
Hey, Bob.
Let them know that we talk about the workouts and stuff.
How many
Yeah,
people?
I-
How many
I
people
put
are
a
watching?
comment at the end, like, thanks for joining. Come check out the Chatter YouTube link. What were you saying, Clint?
How many people were watching your live?
Like, I don't know. There's like maybe 100.
Oh, 100.
I put it on my story while we were on that it was live. Maybe some people went there from that too. I don't know. Why not?
He's being
Just take
modest.
credit.
He probably had more than we did.
Yours.
Hey, Benji, don't be ruined. Don't be bringing us into the vortex over there, okay? All right.
Hey, come on, let me ask real quick. It's top 25 plus all of the qualifiers, so it could be more per division, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's as many as 35 in the 35 to 39 through the 45 to 49.
So you're telling me I have a chance?
You're going to be there, bro.
Are you guys in the 40 to 44 bracket?
Yes.
Yeah. Kern, you age up coming up though for open, right?
Yeah. For the open, I'm 45.
So does Steve too, right?
Yeah, we both are.
Yeah.
We're just getting screwed by legends here.
All right, guys. Well,
Good stuff.
yeah, for sure.
I like it.
Bob, you could probably stop the recording there. I mean, I think we're done. What do we have? I'm trying to hook up Eric. He's down to do it. We're just working on a day.